Hey, it's Yassine here, and I want to wish you all happy holidays and blessed new year. As we approach the end of 2024, it feels like reaching a milestone on a long and eventful trail. Along the way, there were challenges, detours, and lessons learned, but also moments of growth, unexpected wins, and incredible support from those around us. At least this is how this past year felt like for me, a journey full of experiences that have shaped both business and life. So today we're doing a special episode where we're stepping away from the spreadsheets and strategies to reflect on the year, talk about maybe the wins that kept us moving, talk about the lessons that has tested us, and the plans that are shaping the road ahead. And joining me in this conversation, as always, my amazing co-host Geener, Osgold Geener. How are you doing today, brother?
Good to see you. It's Thanksgiving here in the States tomorrow. I can see you're in a warm place though because you have a very nice
Yes.
Hawaiian shirt going on there.
Yes, it's always beautiful here in the Philippines. So happy holidays to all and whoever's, if you're celebrating, and wishing you blessed holidays and New Year. So, Giner, I've got a few questions prepared, and we can play it back and forth.
Sure.
And the first one is really, what's one thing you're most proud of this year?
Wow.
Hitting you with the big ones right out of the gate. Could be personal, could be business. I'm
Yeah,
keen
no.
to, yeah.
It's a good question. I'm proud of the fact that I've been. First let's start personally.
Okay.
Um, I'm proud that I'm fortunate to have two very strong young men as
Mm.
sons in my life, and a spouse that supports me with all the professional stuff that I do. Yeah. So that's always important to acknowledge up front. For me, this year has been all about like my a combination of my personal growth and the ability to
Mm.
go build a team in a new business,
Mm.
a business that frankly 12 months ago I knew nothing about.
Mm.
Um, so come full circle in the last year, and here I am sitting, as the CEO of a roofing company. I probably would have never said that to you a year ago. And I've been very fortunate to be surrounded by people,
Mm.
um, both as I entered the business and now currently, that had the patience to educate me and bring me
Mm.
aboard, take me in, and give me an opportunity to show them what we can do and build something special together.
I love that, and it's been really exciting and inspiring to see how you're moving and how you've launched a whole new platform and you're building a team. Very, very inspiring. So, yeah, and look, for me, what I'm proud of is, my wife joined the business and we haven't killed each other yet. So,
But
um,
you haven't even told me that. So
yeah. So,
that's
she's
remarkable. Good for you.
Yeah, so we're kind of quite, it's like we're s- we're soulmates in a way where we complement each other. We're very different. I don't know if you're familiar with the disc profile, but I'm an ID, an influencer and dominant, and she's more supportive and cautious. So we're full circle together, but we see the world very differently, and that's what kept me on track. Probably without her, I don't know what would happen to me. I'm a big risk taker, so she keeps me balanced. But hey, we found a good mix. So and she found her spot, and I'm very proud of her and what she has been achieving without my help. She never wants my help. She's like, I can stand on my own. I don't need a CEO title, behind me. So I'm very proud of that.
Hey,
Um,
separately, just to build on that for a second for you on your behalf, you and I work together a lot separately on
yes.
Oracle. Um, from me to you, since we're talking a little holiday cheer here, um,
Mm,
you've done a pretty fantastic job with that business, and
thank you.
surrounding yourself with the team and building something that a year ago when I first was talking to you about joining your team and
Mm.
helping you with that business, like couldn't
Yes.
believe it. You've done a very nice job.
Thank you. And the credit goes to really the team, and I'm grateful for that recognition, Geener. Really, this is yeah, and this is we'll keep that for the lessons learned. But yes, I think business wise, what I'm most proud of is turning around our EBITDA. We were not where we weren't in a good spot ending last year, and that's we were getting the growth, but the margins were being like they were getting eaten up due to a lot of decisions and mistakes that we've made and lessons that we've learned. But full turnaround, and this kind of you know segs into my next question about the most impactful thing. What was the most impactful thing we did for our business this year? And for me, that was surrounding ourselves with an amazing board of advisors, and that includes you,
Mhm.
Geener. Bringing on you coming on board, you brought in the customer into the business. You represent the customer and always come from that and keep us grounded in customer value, and so that we're not too hung up on what we want to do. No one, you know, who cares about what we want? At the end of the day, the business is there to create value for the customer and for the stakeholders, for the people, for the team members, and all. But at the end of the day, the customer pays the bills. And if we're not anchored to that, you can get, you can lose focus very fast. And that can derail you. So you brought in the customer focus, and I'm very grateful of that. You brought in the BPO experience and expertise, and David brought in, a lot of the financial prowess and intelligence, and had us really focus on, how we turn around this business and align the shareholders. Sometimes that's a tough conversation when you have multiple shareholders. So he did an amazing job helping us align the shareholder needs and requirements, and get on the path that we are on today. So what's been some of the most impactful things you did for your business this year, Geener?
I don't know that I did it. I think I want to say it differently. The resilience of our team,
Mm,
we've had to kind of build a platform on 5 businesses that had their own very unique identities, and that's
mm,
which is okay because all those entrepreneurs built super successful businesses that we acquired, and here we are trying to build something different, a platform that is different,
mhm,
and all the way down to the most impactful salesperson in each of those organizations, and all the way up through several of my direct reports. I would say there's been so much courage and resilience
mm.
to embrace change. And look, some of them might listen to this and say, well, it wasn't that easy. Yeah, it wasn't that easy, but we're all here.
Exactly.
We're building a great business. It feels good. It feels like it's headed in the right direction, and I'm really proud of the resilience of the team.
And on that note, what would you say the biggest win your team has achieved this year?
Wow, the biggest win. I'd say the biggest win for our team is we built a brand. I mean,
Mm,
there are teams that never get that opportunity. They join brands, they join
mm,
companies, right? We got to build a whole new brand,
mm.
right? Rafter X is a whole new brand. Yeah, it's in its infancy. I don't want to overcall it. But some folks never get to do that. And we all got to sit in a room as a team and come up with a new brand for our business that's going to be here and
Yes.
probably outlive all of us in this business for
Yes.
many years to come. So I'm really proud that,
Yeah.
I got to do that with this team.
Mm.
It's the second brand I got to build, so
Yes.
it was a lot of fun for me. But for some of them, they never get to do it. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun to be able to do that.
And how did Rafter X name come about? I gotta ask. It's catchy. Rafter X, right? Multiplier. So how did that come about?
Actually, this is gonna sound very corporate. I don't mean it to, but it is. We 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 outsourced. We did some marketing. We actually, our CMO Chris is a great guy.
Mm,
He found a firm. We did some kind of consumer research
wow.
on names that resonated, and then intersected that a little bit with what might be searchable on
Mm.
the internet, because there's always the digital presence you're trying to um, come up with. And the word rafter, strange enough, RAFTR. One of our former owners had a previous business named that. Is really funny. We didn't know that coming into it, and he'll smile when he hears this. I'd use his name, but I don't want to put him on the spot. Um,
Huh.
but the RAFTR, and then we're sitting on a call one day, and as we're talking URLs with the marketing firm, we found the URL RAFTRX was available.
Mm.
And as if you think about things like SpaceX, and
Mm.
we I get, we followed the trend a little bit with the X thing, right?
Mm.
But it matched our message really well. Rafter is really the support. If you think
Mm.
about it, the rafters of a roof of a home,
Mm.
and the X is really about the exterior, right?
Mm.
So it worked,
I
right?
love
And
it.
we like it, and we had a good time with it.
No, I love the branding. Definitely a catchy name. Um, yeah, look, the team also here worked really hard. So I think the biggest win I would say the team was able to achieve, and it's really kicking off our lean transformation. We've been really big this year on continuous improvement and lean transformation, and that won us actually awards. Well, that the award, we won the best culture award, and that's been the year, the work from a culture transformation that we had undergone the past 2 year. So we won the best culture award in the mid market here in the Philippines across 3,000 companies. But we also were able to get PCI, SOC 2, ISO certified this year. And this is just the start towards our journey of service excellence. So at first we were very focused on the tools, but then the realization is like really it's the culture. Lean transformation is all about the culture. It's all about the people. So with that said, and I know you're a people person, Giner, first and foremost, what were maybe the most impactful relationships you've built this year?
Oh wow. I value a lot of them the same. I know that sounds very cliche,
Mm.
um, because I value them all for different reasons, right?
Mm.
So maybe I'll put them in groups. I built very valuable relationships with the owners of the businesses we acquired, because it was really important to me. And there were some sacrifices in terms of my convictions and my beliefs of building this business I had to make. No, they don't know that. They will now, but essentially, you know, I understood that they were in a point in time where they were transitioning their business from being the owner, operator, runner to now being a contributor
Mm.
of something larger. And I had to kind of work through the patience of that myself. So that relationship, I guess, the relationships with my direct reports directly, my three direct reports, in building it. I mean,
Mm.
except for one, they've all been here less than a year.
Mm.
So we had to really work through that. And the relationships with the suppliers, vendors, and support in this business. I mean, I had to introduce myself to a swath of people
Yes.
and really paint the vision of what we're trying to do at RafterX and build a really special business.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of the PR announcements, marketplace this, marketplace that. So really great job there. For me, it was what first building my relationship with Rowan, my partner and our COO. So he used to, we were co-CEOs, and then he really entrusted me. He founded Origo, right? And so I think he has a level of maturity and wisdom and entrusting me to take lead in a CEO role. I think that was a big decision, and I'm just grateful for that partnership. I think we found a very sweet spot in how we work together. So that was a big, building and how we work together, and where his focus is and where my focus is, and I pretty much still consider him as my co-CEO. I mean, a lot of things we arrive at the same conclusion most of the time, and we have really good debates, and it's always really respect and taking into consideration having thoughtful disagreements and having radical honesty in our conversations. Um, Another key relationship I built was with Mitch Galutera. I don't know if you've met Mitch. You've met him, right? When we came
Here in
down
the
to
States.
Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Mitch, amazing, right? So he kicked off our entire office in the U.S. He's been instrumental in deepening our partnership with our, clients and partners, and been instrumental in really helping us grow the business. And then really Simeon, he's more of a newly addition to the team in an advisory role right now, and really helping us in, you know, focusing our lean transformation. He brings a lot of wisdom. I really appreciate that, and I think as impactful is I think this is the first year where I really visited all of our clients when I came stateside. So I spent a lot of time traveling and met face to face with a lot of our clients, the executives, right? We work with a lot of the CFOs and the CEOs and CEOs. So it's been very impactful. Building those relationships, it has made tremendous difference, and bringing their voice, right, voice of the customer, bringing that into the business. So but then there are the sacrifices, Geener. So, what sacrifices did you make this year? And, the bigger question is, were they worth it?
Um, yeah, I sacrificed a lot of my personal time for
Mm,
work. Um, and I know that even in and of itself sounds a little cliche, like people all say that. I think it took a lot more time for me to get up to speed than I thought. I'm personalizing that a little bit because I want to make sure I do that by intent. And yeah, of course it's worth it. Like there are families, my own included, that are like reliant on the success of this business. So yeah, of course it is. You always have that question. Um, I think there was a little bit of an epiphany there of the time that's always required to build something new for myself too, right? So
Absolutely.
a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. When I hear, at least for entrepreneurs and executives like us, like work-life balance, like I just don't believe in that. I don't. I believe in managing the imbalance. There's never a balance. It's just how you manage the imbalance. I've been pulling double shifts, 14-hour days, and that has, definitely impacted my relationship with Lynn. But I made sure at least, we go out on a date once a week, and she's keeping me accountable to that. I make sure that when I am with Malik, we play together, and I'm try as much as I can to be in the moment, and that's typically, playing sports. Sports keep me anchored to the here and now, and that's been big, but definitely big sacrifice on the family side, and health. I think my health deteriorated a little bit. My BMI is like in the 30s, so kind of like that's my personal goal for next year is to get my BMI to the 25 range. But maybe also talking about some of the mistakes, sacrifices, but some of maybe the biggest mistakes with me. Sometimes it's hard to
Yeah, of
acknowledge the
course. It
mistakes, but I
always
think
is.
there's lessons, right? There's the good things, and so maybe I'll start out. I think we lost focus, and I was um, I was at fault. We lost focus in our business this year by launching professional services as a new revenue stream, and you warned me, so I'll give you that. You warned me, but you also helped me put like kind of how should I put it? Rails. You help me build, guardrails. If it takes more than percent of your time or 5% of your resources, like you gotta make sure that if the revenue is if it's not there and it's not really getting you traction, it's a distraction. It's kind of you really kind of advising me not to do it, but it's like okay, you're going to do it anyway. But here's what to keep an eye out for it. So yeah, it definitely took a lot more time, a lot more resources, and the growth wasn't there, and it diffused the team, and it cannibalized. Yeah, so I had to, after almost 4 months, 5 months into it, yeah, we had to shut it down. and really just go back to focusing on our core. So that was the biggest mistake I would say I did this year, or at least one of the biggest mistakes I did. How about you?
Yeah. I waited a little bit too long. This business, a lot of this business has to do with weather, right? Um, I waited a little too long for weather to come through because the data had said, "Hey, the weather's going to come through. Here's what a normal year looks like," and it never really materialized in a couple of our businesses. And look, the business is fine. It's healthy. It's still growing. So
Yeah,
check, check, check.
it is a seasonal
Um,
business, and it sees
yeah,
seasonality affects
but
you guys a lot.
in hindsight, the being the naive, I guess, new CEO, I probably took a little longer than I should have,
Mm.
um,
On what?
because I
Took
was
you along what to like drive revenue or take?
no to really say, hey, maybe we should think about the business differently and alternative
Mm,
revenue streams and take
mm,
action a little sooner in the year.
mm.
But we did now. Like you kind of learn the process. Um, and we're doing some really unique things now that for years to come, we're going to have a lot of more stability and growth in our revenue.
I
So
love it.
I'm proud of the team and what we've done.
So that was the yeah. So great. And and any unexpected lessons that 2024 taught you?
Um, Unexpected lessons. No, I mean, outside of what we talked about, not really.
Yeah.
Maybe I learned a little bit on the branding side.
Yeah. Look, for me, I think unexpected lesson, and it's that the change really happens at the Gimba and not in the boardroom. And Gimba, it's like where values created. That's a Japanese word. Heavy. You hear it a lot if you're going through lean. Um, it's like getting on the ground, like literally shadowing your team members doing their job, going to the customer, riding in the truck with the technician, sitting in the back office with the customer, with the AP folks, and like going to the Gimba. That was a huge for me. It's like I didn't understand how huge, and I didn't understand how disconnected I was honestly from like I was, like right up there. But it's like I became a lot more practical because sometimes I'm like too visionary in my approach and too maybe idealistic, but
Yeah,
then I needed that to anchor myself to the ground. What's happening on the production floor? Yeah, and feed that into the strategy. I think that was a really a positive, unexpected lesson for me. Um, Another question for you, Guilherme. What's maybe one thing you tried this year that, other than branding, that took you out of your comfort zone?
um, like for me, it was like this whole idea of reaching out and talking to insurance carriers directly. That was really new for me, right? Because it's part of our business.
Mm,
Um, so that was new. Like you're talking to, you know, carriers who are really bright, have a lot of data behind them,
mm,
years and years, decades and decades of data, and you're trying to build a, roofing platform, and essentially they see you to varying degrees as the enemy, right?
mm, mm,
Against their claims. So, but it was good. I mean, I got to talk to a number of them, learned something great in the process about how we can improve our relationships, and how we could change as a business over time to
mm,
be more of a partner for them. So,
mm.
but that really pushed me a little bit on the the comfort levels of doing that.
Okay, that's
How
a
about
good.
you?
Stepping into the CEO role, honestly, as like now I'm like, yeah, the buck stops here, and I'm the decisions that I make will be you know yeah will have major impact. So stepping into the sole CEO role was a huge um thing for me. And sometimes there's almost this can I really do it? Like this, because you're expected to fix things. You're expected to have the answer always, right? And even when things go wrong, you're expected to show up. So it was very tough for me when you know even when things go wrong, I needed to pick myself up and show up for my team. So I think I kept like the why in front of me, and there's been a lot of ups and downs. And yeah, definitely needing to show up every day, and yeah, just you know keep moving forward for the team, and keeping in focus what's important, and less about how I'm doing, and more in my heart I know I'm doing my best, and I'll just go forward and face the music, and regardless of what happened, and I know I have the support around me, but definitely knowing that a lot of things will be influenced by my decision put a lot of pressure on me this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've done a great job as a new leader. Don't beat yourself up too much. We all learn. Um, we all learn different lessons at different times, and I
Yeah.
think this role that we have is, um, it's not only a leadership role; it's a learning role.
Mm,
Um, because we have to dabble in a lot of functions: the
mm,
operations, the billing, the collections, the sales, the marketing. Um, and that's difficult, right?
mm.
Because you have to be a specialist in a lot of different areas.
I agree.
So I'd say don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, no, look, I'm more so I've always been more on the revenue side and growth, and that's where my comfort zone. I'm a marketing, sales. That's like has been my really strength. Um, Going into operation and service delivery, wow, yeah, that was a big learning curve for me, and growth, and I now realize, like, when service delivery is healthy, the rest of the business is healthy. Like, like, growth will come as long as you deliver that value, and you deliver differentiated value. So that was a big unlock for me, that especially in our business is very much service led growth. um, we have a land and expand model. It's not about how
Yeah,
many customers you acquire. It's about, once you have a customer, once you have a client, it's like, how much can you deliver, how much value can you deliver, and your growth is really in direct proportion to the value that you deliver. The more value delivered, the more growth, because we're B2B. So a partner could spend with us millions of dollars every year. So that was like kind of shift for me. It's not about getting more customers, it's like really taking care of the customers that you have, and that's all about service delivery. um, Now, looking into the next year, 2025, what areas in your life or business, Geener, will you focus on next year, and maybe what will you invest more or less in?
we are definitely going to focus in kind of building our support revenue streams to stabilize our revenue over time.
Mm,
We're definitely going to invest in our technology and integration.
mm.
We are definitely going to invest in new acquisitions and new spaces,
Yeah.
expansion. That's a part of our thesis. So I think all three of those, and there's an ongoing investment to the people that we invested in this year too. So if they hear that, like, hey, that's assumed in
Right.
all of my commentary. Um, it's just, yeah, we got to keep going. We got to
Love it.
take what we built and keep going. How about you?
For us, really, I think it's two words: zero defects. That's really going into the new year. How can we deliver error-free transactions faster and cheaper with minimal effort on the behalf of our clients? That's really what it is. It's service excellence, zero defects. And I know in a service business where it's like people are primary contributor to the delivery, it creates a lot of variation. We're not a technology company, so there's always variation when you have people. So I think that's really the challenge: is how do you deliver, you know, 4 sigma, 5 sigma, 6 sigma level service, where there's only handful of errors for every million transactions. That's the challenge, because once we're able to do that, this will unlock a lot of growth, especially because we handle a lot of complex workflows for our partners. Being able to deliver that and cheaper than what they're doing right now is going to be the biggest unlock for us. Um, Now let's take it on the personal side. So what are you investing more into on the personal side next year?
Time with my family. Really
How?
simple. We gotta plan some things out, some real vacations and things like that. So time with my family.
Was that the same focus from last year?
No, not really. I
Yeah.
think I have to put intent into it this year and
Okay.
actually get some things on the calendar.
Yes. Yeah, I
Hey,
think that's always important. For me, it's my health this year. Definitely, family is always a focus, and I think I've done more the later part of this year a lot better job. But if anything, it's my health, and yeah, getting into this 25-ish BMI level, and yeah, putting now we created an accountability group where every day I miss a walk or an exercise, I pay $5.
yeah, that's
So
good.
yeah, so we so every day I post my Nike tracker, and how many miles I did. I post in the channel, and the team is keeping me accountable. So I'm grateful for the team, and we created like a small group. So
Yeah,
that's a big investment into
yeah.
2025. So Geener, I asked you a lot of questions. Any questions, maybe from your end, that we should reflect on?
Yeah, I guess, if I always like doing the 5 year thing. This is
Hmm.
fun because look, this is memorialized. We're recording each other, right? 5 years from now, Yassine is talking to Geener. What is he talking about?
Wow. I'm probably talking about M&A, baby. So I'll be knocking on your door, and Geener, it's time to start buying up some companies. That's probably what I'll be talking to you about. Probably acquiring even some companies, building some companies together. I think we'll be talking about maybe building our own private equity, small private equity.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's very ambitious.
I mean, look, the capability we're building. Um, yeah, I think there's a need in the market to really professionalize, small businesses, sub 5 million EBITDA, 1 million to 5 million EBITDA, and then partner up with them and get them PE grade ready, and then connect them with a lot of our partners. I think there's a big play there for smaller companies that are not yet ready to sell, or they don't want to sell right now because maybe they haven't reached that valuation to take full advantage of the business that they've built. I think we can help them a lot in professionalizing their business and get them PE grade ready.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How about you? What we'll be talking about?
Hopefully, I'm a few years out of talking about retirement at that point.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Building you a house here in the Philippines, maybe buying a small island, Geener.
somewhere warm. I would say somewhere warm. Um, no, in all seriousness, I'd love to see this roofing platform be $1 billion by then.
God willing.
Um, my son will be graduated out of college by then. Hopefully, I'm talking to you about one of my kids being married.
Whoa, let's go.
My wish, not theirs, by the way. Don't think that if they ever listen to this, I don't want them to think that's me putting something on them.
Uh,
Um, but for sure, thinking about it with them and growing my family and really starting to think about what does the end of my career looks like. By then I'll be in my mid 50s, and then it's a little bit of okay, now it's starting to wind down. So what does that look like?
no, that's beautiful. Look, as we wrap up, it's clear that this year's challenges, wins, and lessons have shaped where we're heading next in 2025. So, with the year winding down, take a moment to reflect, celebrate the highs, learn from the lows, share them with us. I'm keen to hear some of your lessons learned. And what were some of your wins? What were some of your key lessons? And appreciate the people who've been part of your journey. I think at the end of the day, it's all about the people, as you always point out, Giner. So, um, for those listening in, I want to thank you for being part of our small podcast, humble podcast here at FXL. We've had a great run this year, and we're planning for a lot more great content coming up in 2025. So, Giner, I want to thank you especially for being a big value add. And frankly, I'm just going through a masterclass here for free by having you on the show. So, learning a lot from you. And yeah, happy holidays and thank you for everything you do. And I'll see you in the new year.
Sounds good. Thanks, Yassine. Appreciate it.
Thank you.